What's up, everybody? This is not a full video because obviously I'm kind of tore into it here. But I got this walk behind. It's not mine. It's a walk behind that a buddy of mine owns. He runs a landscape business, and he told me that it was running one day and the PTO clutch dropped out on him. And then when he shut it off, it wouldn't start back and the battery was dead. So I told him check a fuse. There's a fuse over here on the side that leads to the voltage regulator. And it goes to the, I can't remember if it says, I don't remember what the other wire is. It says magneto on it. I'm not sure exactly what it goes to. But anyway, so basically what's happening is it's blowing that fuse, and those are the only two wires coming off, feeding off of that fuse. So charging system to me is most suspect in that case, but honestly, I mean, at first I thought it was a voltage regulator, and I thought for some reason it had shorted to ground, and I didn't really check good enough. I should have checked my stator wires, because I put the new regulator on and nothing changed. Let's see it over here. So I said, well, it's got to be the stator. It's the only thing left, really. And you know, your flywheel is on top of here, and the magnets run around this coil here, and that's what makes your battery charge. And so ended up checking one of those wires and it was grounded out. So I'm like, well, you know, there's obviously a stator problem. So I ordered a stator before I get into it, because I didn't really want to tear it apart and have it sitting in pieces until I got parts. But I get the flywheel off of it. It's running fine, sounds good. The only thing I noticed the other day when I was turning the engine over, it bound up on me once. The battery was about dead, so I thought, well, it's on the compression stroke, not really wanting to turn over. But I kind of think what happened is I found this laying in here, and I believe this is the cone that goes on top of the starter here, as you can see. Now I can't remember if this starter's been replaced or not. I'm guessing it has, and it either way, this got off the starter, because that's got to be what it is. It looks just like it. It's this little cone that goes on top of the starter shaft. So I find that laying in here, and sure enough, I believe it's just been wedged from the block up to the coil. You can see this galv's aluminum here, and you can see this piece. And I'm assuming this thing, you know, it was somehow it was wedged up under here. And you can see it took maybe a little hit here. And anyway, basically what's happened is this thing is grounded from the block, and you can see it's been beat up, and you know, it's been in there a minute. It's grounded itself from the block to the stator. So I removed it, and it kind of had fallen out, I think, when I got the flywheel off. But I removed it, and now I don't have ground. I'm not shorted to ground on my coil wire anymore. So pretty much I think everything is fine. I think this was the only issue, and I don't think it's harmed anything you know, to make it unusable. So it's just the weirdest problems sometimes, you know. And this is just one of those cases, I guess. But I know that's what the problem was, because after I got the flywheel off and pulled this out, I don't have ground coming out on my coil anymore, and I'm not blowing the fuse anymore. So, pretty interesting. Also, this is a handy little item. Just a circuit breaker or resettable fuse, you know, whatever you want to call it. This is a 20 amp. You can get them in a lot different amp ranges, but basically you can just plug that into a fuse holder, and if you blow it, it'll blow. It'll still blow like a regular fuse, but it'll reset after the load is taken off for, you know, a minute or two. And so keeps you from just burning fuses for no reason. If you're, you know, sometimes you can tell, you know, something's shorted here. You can just use a test light and tell I'm still shorted to ground or whatever. But in a case where it's not that easy, you can use these and you don't burn up regular fuses trying to figure out what happened. So I'm gonna put the flywheel back on this thing and button it back up, and we'll see if it's charging. Well, that's going to be the end of this video. This thing is running good now. I didn't change the stator, so really, had I taken it apart to start with, I wouldn't have had to order any parts for it. But that happens sometimes, you know. Like I said, I didn't want to take it apart and string it out and then not be able to put it back together somewhat quickly. Checked it and it's charging good, not blowing fuses, so it should be good to go now. But that just goes to show sometimes, you know, it's, you know, freak things that cause your problems. Not always something that logical or simple. So luckily, you know, that I found that piece laying there. It could have just as easily been wedged under the stator, and if I hadn't seen it, then I would have changed the stator also. So, you know, sometimes just weird things. But anyway, I just thought I would show y'all. So appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you next time.